Beyond.
No.
Welcome to episode 98 of Podcast Beyond.
Oh, man, we are so close.
We're getting there.
12 episodes.
We're getting there. I'm Chris Roper. Greg Miller, what's up?
Nothing.
Ryan Clements.
I had a mouthful of turkey at the start of that episode.
That's great.
It's good
Sam, how's it going?
I always have a mouthful of turkey. I'm doing great.
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
Chew it like a tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little chaw.
Yeah, right
little turkey
there.
chaw. Yeah.
That's why we have a bucket of spit up turkey in the corner.
It's turkey juice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was gross.
Yeah, it was. Speaking of gross, let's get to the Roper Report.
For some really freaking gross news.
I'm going to go backwards reading this week.
Oh my
Usually
God.
I skip around. I'm just going to go backwards
Whoa.
of the list. So the PSP Go, if you're interested, pre-orders have begun.
Woo.
Greg, you're a super fan of this news.
looking forward to
Ghostbusters
the-
coming to Little Big Planet.
Oh, yeah, that I'm very excited for. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, PSP Go, sure. And no, Ghostbusters, it better be levels.
You want to see levels.
I don't want more costumes. I mean, I'm looking forward to these costumes, but
But it's got to be levels.
I mean, you figure it
the
like-
library, the like you
the
should
firehouse,
go, yeah, you
anything,
go through the
You figure
firehouse.
Metal Gear gave me a
the-
giant jolt to get back into Little Big Planet.
the building at the end.
Yeah, you
go
put some
through-
new trophies in there. Some
That's
new
what I'm talking
Ghostbusters
about.
Trophies, some new Ghostbusters
Giant
levels.
State Farm Marshmallow
There
Man in
you
the
go.
background.
What
about
That's
us?
easy.
That would be
about
so
a-
freaking awesome.
A
Gozer shows
sticker
up.
slash object pack. Would that work for you
I
too?
will
As
be
opposed
happy
to just
with that, but I will not be thrilled.
right, but as opposed to just costumes.
Yep,
that
I'll
would be
download
better,
it and then I'll wear the costume
I
when I do
hope-
the little
Alright.
Big Planet level lovers.
I hope it's the same treatment as like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, come on,
Where
yeah.
you,
Don't
you
screw
actually get
this
like a
up.
proton pack or something like
Medium
that. That'd be
molecule.
Yeah.
Come on.
awesome.
Continuing with my backwards news, Fight Night Round 4 is getting a big surprise DLC patch to add button punches.
You whiners finally got what you wanted.
Good
so
news that
dumb.
it'll be
Roper.
free. I just don't like the controls of the game.
You're whining.
Whatever. No, I like the stick, but I wish it was more like we should play like 3. Final Fantasy 2, this is Ryan's news, was released in Japan. There we go.
Woo!
So maybe
With
it's coming to the
trophies?
US.
What's that?
Trophies?
I don't know.
No, this
Isn't
is
this
the
a classic?
this is in classic release.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 coming to the PS3 will have less violence.
Thank God.
What?
It's
They're cutting down the violence.
yeah. They changed the blood to like
As long as Wolf,
Soul
ruler
essence.
of greater fiend and ruler of storms, is still in the game, I will be happy.
we should be getting a preview build of that pretty soon.
Yeah. The one thing that I don't like about this announcement, though, is I remember back at GDC of last year when they announced Ninja Gaiden 2, the 360, that when heads were getting cut off and blood was flying everywhere, and Ryu was like slashing his blade so the blood would come off and all that kind of stuff. Everybody was clapping and applauding at those moments, and that's what they're cutting out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Singularity has been pushed to March of 2010. The reason that Activision is saying is because Modern Warfare 2 did better than they expected at E3, and they don't want to have the titles compete.
I
I didn't expect that game to get much fanfare after E3.
What is it called again?
Modern Warfare 2.
Wait, they made a Modern Warfare. Well, that's
Yeah,
just,
there was a game.
it must have come and gone without
only
any sort
only
of.
something like 14 million people bought the other one.
Singularity.
Oh, that's it.
Time control device crushed it, the original Modern Warfare, and now you need to go back in time and remake it big and normal again.
That's DLC.
Dumb.
Yeah. Disgaea 3. That game is what, a year old now?
In August it will be.
Yeah. It now has trophies, or it's getting them. Wait, are they now up or are they getting them?
They're getting them with a 14th.
There you go.
No, a week from today. Whatever
Yeah.
the store update would be
So
for next
the
week.
16th.
There you go.
It'll be on there. And the last bit of news that I'll
The
mention
good
this
news
week.
though about this
Ooh.
guy thing is that they're not backwards compatible, and if you install them, they will screw up everything and ruin your save.
Yeah, so hopefully you didn't play 1,000 hours like Ryan did. No, he didn't.
Ryan
He's
played-
nodding his
Ryan
head
played
'cause he's
about-
chewing a turkey
You, what,
sandwich.
35 minutes of that game, and you're like 7-5.
35 minutes.
Six.
No,
Five,
it was in
whatever
the sixes, I think. No, I didn't. I played probably a little bit more than 35 minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably more like 36.
Yeah.
Yep.
The last bit of news that I'll mention is that Rock Band Beatles will be 100% unaffected by Michael Jackson's death. So, there's all the things about, Michael Jackson owning, Beatles songs and all that kind of stuff that is not going to affect the game whatsoever. So, all
I
is
was
good
under the
for the
impression that
Beatles.
Sony owned all that stuff at this point because he
I don't
defaulted
know-
on his loan.
Yeah, I don't know what the legal stuff behind all that is. All I know is the game will be
Either
fine.
way, yep.
So there we go.
Sweet.
Also, LA spent something like $1.2 million on his memorial. Or that's how much it costs with traffic control and all that.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
different aside, but that news came out today.
Manoshevitz.
There we go. So I got a PS3 at home. I want to find some games. Greg, how can I know what to play on it?
You can look to the TOILOUPSOATPBTIE.
Yes.
Bigs 2 came out on everything. That was your list. We call it the TOILOUPSS.
I think Ryan, do we have any PSN update for the week to know what games will compete with the Bigs 2 for Pick of the Week?
We do. We have a pretty big update for today. Do I sound okay, by the way,
You sound
sir?
fine. Let's do
All
it.
right, great.
You got that turkey out of your teeth. It's all good.
Okay,
I know.
wash it down with a bottle of vodka.
I figured that it was more
Bologna in your
important for me to
trousers.
continue with the show than it was for me to remove this turkey, which I'll do it later. Big news on the PlayStation Store for today. Buzz Junior Robo Jam is going to be available today for $4.99. I know Greg's jonesing to pick
Nope,
that up.
Sam's.
Yep,
we
can't wait to re-review that.
Battlefield 1943 is available. It is a limited time offer. It comes bundled with themes if you download it right now.
Wow.
Which let me actually just say this before anybody, in case people hear this before they run to the servers to buy Battlefield, do not be surprised if it doesn't work, because the game came out yesterday on the Xbox, and they didn't have enough servers going, and so people had a really hard time playing the game. I don't know if that's also going to happen on the PS3 end. They're going to add more, and it'll be fine fixed, but it's possible that you'll buy the game today and try to play and have a hard time doing it. So
don't panic.
don't panic if it doesn't work. It'll get fixed, or maybe you want to wait a day or two to get it.
Do I still have stuff in my teeth?
There's a giant piece of lettuce, but go ahead.
There's no lettuce in my sandwich.
That's
Then that's really weird.
Pretty young thing.
All right, so in other news, PS1 Classics, we have Spec Ops Stealth Patrol and XS Junior League Soccer, both for $5.99. I know we're really excited about that. In the world of demos, we have Battlefield 1943 and a Ghostbusters demo. I would have figured that Ghostbusters had a demo already.
Now they're
did it
scooping
not?
up the ones who thought they wouldn't get it and thought that maybe me and Sam were full of the craps. But
Nope,
now they'll
but
see
we
we're
was
not.
not.
Now, here's a little bit of a weird thing. The draft of this update that I got says that the MotorStorm Pacific Rift Adrenaline expansion, which is the thing we were all discussing this morning, is available today for
I didn't
$9.99.
discuss this.
I don't know about that,
I think you were.
but
Getting
it's a definite possibility. I don't have access to the blog right now. Roper does, though, but
I don't want to script the podcast.
I want to be
No
updated. though.
there's also some Cross-Edge add-on content, Dynasty Warriors add-on content, Midnight Club Los Angeles add-on content, Skate 2, Guitar Hero, Rock Band, and let me flip over to the PSP page. New downloadable titles available: Samurai Warrior State of War for $14.99, Ultimate Board Game Collection for $9.99, and some more Rock Band Unplugged add-on content, including some Pixies songs, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Pride and Joy, and also Still Alive.
That's a
Old.
bunch of stuff.
Not,
That's a
not
bunch
your
of stuff
fault,
right
Ryan.
there.
The Still Alive stuff is old.
Yeah, still
Yeah,
alive.
you're
Dixie
right.
Chicks and REM
Sorry.
was all last week. Not
There
you, I
was
know,
a,
I know it's not you. They put out a release today trying to pass it off as news.
Yep.
We're on
Saw
to you,
that.
Reverb. Nice try. No sale.
That is the PlayStation Store update for today.
Pick of the week. Looks like our
It's a meaty
choices
one.
are basically between the Bigs and Battlefield
Buzz
1943.
Junior Robo Jam.
Have you guys played? Did you play the big?
I have played the bigs.
It is fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
That's what Dave
As
says.
usual, I still suck at baseball games though.
Yep, me too.
I can pitch fine, but I can't get timing down for
Now,
swinging.
and honestly,
for show.
it's all about home run derby for me.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah. Did
So-
you play that?
No, I didn't play.
Oh, it's the best mode. It's so freaking fun.
All right, so I'll let you guys do this. Battlefield 1943 versus Bigs 2. What's pick of the
Bigs
week?
too.
Bigs 2?
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think? What did Damon even give Battlefield?
I don't know. Something. It was good.
It was good. He liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Did he give it 8s?
I don't
But you know
remember.
what? Since you can't
I thought
play
it
it right now,
was- you
or
did?
likely
Yeah,
can't
then
play
you
it
might.
anymore.
Well,
Oh,
okay,
well,
so
I-
pick of the week right now is Bigs 2.
Yeah. Go
Do
play.
you need
maybe-
another
play,
first-person shooter?
Maybe later on down
Come
the line,
on.
Battlefield. Right now,
Jeez.
although you can kill Corey Lewis in Battlefield. So there you go.
Oh, really?
Corey D.
Corey's
Lewis
in
plays Battlefield. No, he just
Oh.
likes playing it.
Oh, well, that
There
doesn't
you go.
count. I can kill him in real life.
That's fine.
Kill him on Facebook, everybody.
Yeah. So there we go. There's your pick of the week.
Woo.
Pick of the week.
Trophy
Pick.
tips. Just the tip.
All-
Do we have any tips?
I played Ice Age,
Yeah.
Oh.
and it was not a bad game. And there are trophies in it, but you will need to play it throughout the whole game. That's the downside to it. And then there's challenges you have to go back for. They're all doable. It's a doable platinum, even though you'd have to go back and get all the crystals too. I don't think it's a 1L platinum. But granted, I've played it now on 5 systems and reviewed it on 5 systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of Ice Aged out right now.
I went to it
But
with Monsters vs. Aliens.
Yeah, I did get a
Totally
message from a reader. Sorry, I don't remember who you are. And he saw me playing. And he said, "Oh, great pick for platinum. Got it in a few hours." That's great for him. I did not get it in a few hours. Again, though, time stands still when you play 5 Ice Age games back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I will not be going back for the platinum. I might go back for some of the challenges because it's still like some of the challenges are if you can do it in a minute and a half, it's a silver trophy right there. That's easy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Now, for topic of the week,
PYT.
we're going to do a little segment that we like to call Extended Reader Mail.
Turkey sandwich.
Yeah, we got so there's not really much to talk about here, and I don't want to do that like topic mix-up thing all the time. So
everybody loved that, though.
I know the feedback on that was great, so I like that a lot. So we will do that again, but I don't want to do it every week.
Run it to the ground.
But normally I go through the emails and I pick out most of the good questions, and this week just so happened to be that there were a ton of really good questions, a lot of good things to talk about. So we're going to hit all of these. Lots of good things to talk about
do
here.
this.
First one, Greg was saying that he saw this at the top of my sheet and was very glad that he had written in this week.
Yeah, I saw the name. I don't know the question.
Yeah, this comes from IMAC. His post on the board says PSP Go, $250. What the hell is Sony thinking?
Oh, I've asked them this, and their argument is if you were to buy a PSP and you were to buy a 16 gig memory stick and the Bluetooth compatibility, whatever, that's new, so you can't really buy that.
Yeah.
They say you're getting close to that margin anyway.
Here's the thing: is Sony's pitching this as a premium price. That premium people should be able to go get the system for this much, and so they can, jack up the price on it. That's not the right way whatsoever to sell video game hardware.
True.
I mean, what you want to do, if you can, is give the system away for free to every single person in the world, because now that's, billions of people are playing your games. And then you make your money off of software licenses and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So by trying to make money on hardware that everybody thinks is overpriced and that they're not going to buy, it's a very, very bad move.
Here's what Sony is thinking. Sony is thinking, A, oh, this is a little thing that has some profit margins. Awesome. B, we got to do something to appease all the brick and mortar game stores and stuff out there, because they aren't going to make a dime off of this thing after they sell the actual hardware.
Yeah.
So that's part of it too.
I mean, the problem they run
True.
into, you figure, is that now you're moving to this downloadable only thing, which is going to be fledgling for a while, and it's one of those things. So now just a small sliver of people who are interested in the product are going to have it at launch. So it's like, is it going to be this whole thing where they don't support it well, the whole store, and I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Roper.
Huh.
There was a little
Still
piece
excited.
of hardware sold for $249 that makes a crap ton of money.
What's that?
It's called the Wii.
Huh?
The who?
What are you talking about?
It's this thing where you can take
It's this little known
photos and
system.
put sunglasses on the photos.
Yeah.
Huh.
And vote.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
I should,
You
You
can
can actually, the company that makes it, it's a Japanese company called Nintendo,
I bought one of those a couple years ago.
and you haven't touched it, right?
I think
been in the attic.
I think that's the white thing that's sitting next to my PS3 that I play all the time.
I read somewhere that it's
I
stupid.
remember.
I think Damon
It's for
Hatfield's
Babby?
in that.
No, I don't think that's true.
Oh, okay.
No. Damo Sex writes in. He says, "Have you guys noticed anyone in the office start using their PS3 as their primary game console after maybe having issues with their 360 dying a bunch or things of that nature?" Colin Moriarty is for one.
Yeah, well, Colin hates the Xbox, though.
Yeah.
And
Okay, now he does. I don't
He
know.
did before. No,
did
he totally
before?
hated it before. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
he's-
that. I think that was
he's-
more. It was more he needed to get the money to buy the PS3, and then he did.
Gotcha.
And then he was fine.
Yeah.
Beyond that, no. I think everybody just struggles on. With the
I think
360.
some of the video team does though. I think some of the video guys
Yeah,
are
maybe.
moving that direction, so we'll see.
Okay.
But it is happening. But
It's
a lot,
my primary game system.
Yeah, but I mean, but a lot of thing is, the 360 was out first. Everybody got one, and so everybody here in the office plays online with other people with the 360.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like a lot of people are,
And we all have that complex
beholden
where we
to that.
want to have achievement points. So
Yeah.
now they're like, I don't want to quit my achievement points. I don't want to sell trophies. Trophies are dumb.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, we're
primary.
Yeah.
we're huge trophy whores.
Yeah, so
Can you guys hear me chewing, by the way?
Yes.
probably so.
Oh, you can hear me?
Here's the game. Guess what Ryan
Greg, I hate
is
that
eating right
smug
now.
look you
Ryan,
do.
I didn't even give you
Ryan,
a smug
you-
look.
I-
All
I
right, now
can
I'm going to touch
see
your
it.
sandwich.
Ryan,
I'm going to
have-
touch it.
Go ahead.
Ryan, have I'll give
touched
him
my
this
wiener
clue.
earlier. Now your
Ryan, have a
sandwich tastes like wiener.
spoonful of the food that you're eating now. And let's see if the readers can guess
no,
what it
we
is.
already-
Okay.
I know they know
No,
that they
this
know
is-
that it gets eaten with a spoon.
Okay.
Ryan, go for it.
All right, hold on.
There you go. Can you guess what that was? We'll count this down. 5, 4.
Oh, we're not. It's not a contest.
3.
It's just
They're trying to guess in their head.
Okay.
2, 1. It was applesauce.
pork chops and applesauce.
There you go. My name is Rye says, what do you guys think about the new game Alpha Protocol coming out in October? If we had a chance to play it yet, based on the preview build they've been showing off, the game looks like it has a lot of potential to be a sleeper hit.
I think Sleeper Hit's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I've definitely played it. There's a lot of potential for replay in that game. A
Yeah.
lot.
I have not played it myself, but the ideas behind it, there is some kind of cool stuff there. And I very much agreed that it's not getting a whole lot of, upfront there. As one of the big titles coming out this year for, I don't know, I guess because everybody's looking forward to, Modern Warfare and Uncharted and all these other games. But it could do some pretty cool things. So, yeah, I mean, it very well could wind up being a sleeper hit. Unfortunately, yeah, I mean, even if it is awesome, people aren't really looking forward to it, and it would have to be, word of mouth after release that it gets sold.
Sega's not really pushing. I guess they haven't really started anything yet. So the whole ramp up of that stuff. But it's just the fact that it's an RPG and a different kind of RPG. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Nothing, spy stuff.
RJDJ_0
This is the
numeral
agency?
1.
Huh?
Yeah.
This is the agency?
What?
No.
Alpha Protocol, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the agent?
What? Who's on first? RJDJ_1 writes in and he says, do you guys think Gran Turismo 5 will have damage for all cars or just the NASCAR and WRC cars? That is the hot topic going around right now, and nobody knows yet. Nobody is saying.
I hope they have a mod where it's like zombie cars and they just start all screwed up.
That's why it's taking 5 years to make it.
Zombie
That'd be awesome.
cars.
Manimal Forever writes in. He says, "What are your takes on the PS3 Slim? Do you think we'll see
It's
it this
in the
year?"
room. It's you can see it right now. Just turn.
Someone didn't listen to things last
Move 90 degrees and look, and there it is.
Yeah.
It's been there the whole time.
It's like that walkway in
90
Indiana
degrees.
Jones and Last Crusade, where he
Yeah.
throws dust out there and then you can finally see it.
Yeah.
It's the leap of faith thing. You just gotta believe, man.
Yep. Based now,
like
here's
the
the
fourth
thing.
hole.
So based on the rumors, it looks like the thing is 100% legit. We're everybody's seen the shots and all that kind of stuff. Looks like it's pretty for sure. Now the interesting thing is, and we're going to be, I mentioned this in the in the news this morning that Metal Gear. There's the bundle for Metal Gear Solid 4 and Killzone 2. Or did I skip over this? Maybe I didn't read this.
You didn't read
You
this.
did not.
I didn't.
You did not.
I accidentally didn't read this because I
Possibly
didn't go
the
out of order.
biggest news.
Yes.
the
So
world.
at Best Buy now for $399, you can get a PS3 that also comes with Metal Gear Solid 4 and Killzone 2. Right?
It's a hell of a
Just like
bundle.
a
Hell of a bundle.
$120 value, right?
Yeah, awesome bundle.
Well, no,
yeah.
MGS is $30 now, and
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and
Still though, those are two of the best
Killzone's
games in the
50.
system. Absolutely, great deal. So, what it looks like to me is it would seem like if Sony wanted to package games to the system, if it was me doing it, I would put in games that are having sequels coming out soon. You know what I mean? They have the Uncharted bundle, but that's for like the 161, and they have it's $500 or whatever it is. But I would have made this bundle have Uncharted, and maybe put in like the first MotorStorms. You can we're not gonna get that sequel even though it's already out. And the original Ratchet Future, right?
A School of Rock
that.
UMD.
Yeah, and a School of Rock UMD. And then people play these games and they go, okay, now I want to go buy the sequel, right? So these two, Killzone 3, we're not going to be seeing for years. Metal Gear Solid 4, who knows when Rising's coming out.
Lightning bolt.
So these bundles are in there to get you to buy the PS3, which obviously Sony wants people to buy the PS3, but it seems to me like they want to get rid of the current PS3s.
That is a very astute observation.
Yes,
I think you're
get
right.
rid
sir.
of them off the shelves to make
too
way
astute.
for a new casing holding similar internals.
That might
Hence
be in the room
PS3
right now.
Slim. That could be in the room right now. Oh, I thought I saw it, but no, it's just
We'll
it was a piece of lint.
UMD slot. Is what
There
I'm
you
saying.
go.
It's a universal
sucks?
media
Here's-
disc.
Here's a fun fact. The reason why Uncharted is still $60 is because it's bundled. That's really lame. Because then if they knock off the price, then it decreases
Yeah.
the value of the rip-off
Explains why
system.
Naughty Dog's
Yeah.
doing so poorly.
Those poor guys.
Evan
Yeah.
Wells sleeping in a cardboard box. Christoph can't even play his own multiplayer game properly.
Yeah.
Gets beat by a fat game journalist named Greg Miller.
Channing writes in, he says, is there a technical reason why large multiplayer games usually have a power of 2 as their maximum number of players? 32, 64 is pretty common. Mag is having 256. His hunch is that has something to do with computers / video games themselves being inherently binary, blah, 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 whatever that is. Not all games are like that. A couple of games have had, I don't know if anything's had 10, but there are some games that have 12 as the maximum. Some certainly have 8. Although 8 fits into your scheme there. But I know there are some games that have 12. I think even numbers are much more doable than... Oh, and remember, Resistance 1 was 40, right?
Yes.
Was 40. Even numbers are much more doable because if you're like, this game supports 19 players online, then you'll never remember that, right? If you say 20 or 18, it seems,
You'd
for whatever
also
reason...
have a really lopsided... Well, you'd always have a lopsided team.
Yeah,
so.
so you always want even numbers anyway. But I think 32, 16, those are kind of magic numbers for people. I don't know what the 256 numbers for. Whatever they.
A bullet point?
Who knows?
To be the largest ever.
Yeah. So
Edge out. Dark Sectors,
it may
255.
have something to do with the way the players are tracked in the thing. I don't know. I would assume that it would be a linear scale in data transfer to the network, but whatever there. But,
I think it's just a balance thing.
There's also, there's co-op games that have 3-player and stuff too.
True.
3-player is often a used co-op
3 is the
number.
magic number.
But the three for co-op though is for design reasons.
Right, I'm
You
just
know what I
saying,
mean? Yeah,
you know, that's their
Also,
two.
1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever
It
do.
is. Bum, bum, bum.
Frog Splash 45 writes in and says, which one of you dashing gents will be reviewing MAG? Do you have any idea how this consistent war will work? And which faction sounds most appealing to you? Valor, Raven, or SVER? As currently now on the
That's
sheet, Greg
Sever.
Miller is whatever.
Sever.
Greg Miller is covering the game.
Yay!
We will see though when we get to when the game will be reviewed.
Yeah, we're a ways away. Like, we
Yeah.
didn't have it on a review list yet.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
do
So
all the
when we
coverage
get
for it. I got you.
there,
I
we'll
got you.
see whose schedule is open. If all things are completely equal, Greg will probably wind up doing it, but we'll see what happens when we get there.
Okay.
So, Greg, we will turn this to you since you've been
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
MAG
yeah.
coverage, though. How is consistent war going to work?
Oh, I think I'm going to ask which faction I like.
I'll get to that in a second.
Consistent war is going to work. It works like in every preview I've ever written Frog Splash. Get off your keister, you take your little hand off the Cheetos box, and you put it on your mouse, and you click in Google, and you say IGN Mag Greg Miller. Read a preview. Anyways, you join one of these factions, and then you're in that faction for life, and they're going to fight for military contracts, and they're going to constant war going on. Even when you're eating your Cheetos, watching The Weeds in the Simpsons Season 2 episodes on your Devo, and tell you what's going to happen. That war is still going on, brother. You left your men to die in the mud.
Two things. First, did Cheetos come in boxes?
No.
And second, did you say
Well, if
Devo
you-
instead of...
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
I did. Well, you got the
Whipping
DVRs
good.
now and the TiVos.
I understood it. but I thought it
Betamaxes
was-
and
I-
Pac-Man video
I thought it
games.
was adorable.
Zima and Dan Fogelbert.
Let's get to the
I just-
second part of this question. I want to hear how you take this one off to the Cheetos realm.
No, this is-
Valor, Raven, or Sever?
I believe. What did we all come in as? We were all coming in as.
Everyone was in the middle on that for
Yeah,
some
we
reason.
all
so
when Sam and me and a whole bunch of other video game journalists went up to Seattle to see Mag. They had they had this thing in there. You got a questionnaire you filled out and you answered all these personality questions, and then they put you in a group.
Yeah.
And then they had notebooks that they would then went and like had this machine that would
Laser etch them.
laser etch whatever symbol it was
cool.
on there, whatever. It was neat. But what they didn't think through was that video game journalists are all pretty much the same person. So we like they had all these books piled up, and like the one group, which I thought it was Sever. I could have sworn it was Sever. I have it at my desk. We can follow this up on another podcast.
yeah, I need to go look and see.
Anyways, we all came up, so they immediately ran out of those books. So then, like, people just started taking Valor or whatever, and they're like, "We'll make more." It's like, we really don't care. It's not what.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, one of them's super cool. I believe Raven is dressed in all black, and they have the super high-speed technical
That was
stuff
the one.
in the
That was the
future.
one I went with. Yeah, I can't remember.
That's what I'm
I
gonna
think
do.
it is Raven.
In the game,
Yeah,
I'll be Raven, purple and black, attack, just like the Chicago Enforcers. 5-5 in the XFL. Almost went to the $1 Million Championship game. Greg Miller went to 3 out of 5 home games.
Oh,
My lord.
that's something you don't know every day. Add that to your Wikipedia page. Black Mantle writes in, by the way, everyone who listens to Podcast Beyond and is a fan of Ryan Clements can find a piece of trivia about Ryan by searching for PDC Championship Darts 2008.
What? Really?
Yeah.
He's listed on that page now.
Well, Ryan, all apologies, Clements, right?
Yeah, there you go.
All apologies.
Black Mantle writes in, he says, if you had to make an estimation as to which developer would take advantage of the PS3 the most, in other words, make the most out of its visuals, audio, gameplay elements, with a game or games that has already done so or will happen in the future, who would you mark that company as? Basically, who is best with the PS3?
Naughty Dog.
I 100% second that.
Yeah.
Possibly-
Or Polyphony Digital, one of the two, because they'll end up squeezing the most out of the hardware, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah, I would say Polyphony, but it's like Polyphony is kind of an extension of what they've always been doing, from what we know anyway. And I might have said Kojima Productions is a great runner-up because just how well Metal Gear Solid 4 worked out.
A few weeks ago, I would have said Blue Omega.
Wait, it's who takes advantage of the power the most?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, and you guys don't think Guerrilla Games does a good job either?
They do, but,
No,
but Naughty Dog is
that's
pushing
another
that
also.
stuff.
But yeah,
Naughty Dog makes love to the PS3.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, Naughty Dog's doing some crazy
They
things.
wine and dine it.
Yeah,
They
so there
tuck
you
it in
go.
the bed.
Jeff Ramsarut
And they crawl into the
says,
covers.
"What's your?" By the way, Jeff Ramsarut has the old.
on
I
some
still
Barry
love
White.
this Beyond icon that he's got on the boards with the
The
little
different colors and stuff.
Yeah, but
Good
Jeff's
job,
still in
Jeff.
there. Jeff's still in there.
Oh, get rid of Jeff. Put Sam in there.
Yeah, put Sam.
He says, "What's your opinion on games that go on sale with missing
find a picture of
features?"
me.
This is a pretty poor story here. He says,
It's a bad story or like it's sad?
No, it's sad and,
Okay.
and should never have happened to
Okay, okay.
to Mr. Ramsarut here. He says, recently he picked up Gunstar Heroes on the PSN only to find out the online portion was broken. The entire reason he bought the game was to play with his friend who lives in BC, assuming British Columbia, unless he lives before Christ. Sega has admitted that there's a problem, claiming that it should work 30% of the time, which is terrible. However, everyone I've heard from says that it works exactly 0% of the time. They've also said that the game did not sell well enough to fix it. He thinks that he wants his money back. I would say you should be damn sure you want your money back.
Yeah.
First off, if somebody releases a game and there's a bug in it and it's like your guy can clip through this part of the level, whatever, fix that. That's nice. If it doesn't sell, whatever. If your stupid online that is on your box and says you can play with X number of players online doesn't work at all, I don't care if the game sells 0 copies. You should fix it.
Yeah.
That's or pull it from the store or something.
I don't understand the logic behind, well, it didn't sell very well, so we're not going to fix this problem. They might sell a couple more copies if they fix the problem.
100%. So, yeah. Primal Reptiles
Sorry, buddy.
X360, I think, wrote into the wrong podcast. But he says, Greg, what is going on with SmackDown vs. Raw 2010? I have saw nothing about it other than the cover art. I know you're the man to come through for me.
Yes. The cover art is out,
She
Yeah.
just left it at that.
and you should expect something before November when it's supposed to release or whatever.
There you
Or
go.
fall. Yeah, news will be coming soon.
Yeah. And as always, if looking back at the past games, we have a ton of coverage leading to the thing, cover every single mode in great detail and all that kind of stuff. So that will be happening again, same
Well,
sorts of
maybe
deal.
not.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, THQ's taking a completely different route so far. Maybe they just will do nothing, and it'll just show up one day.
You won't have
Well,
to do a something of the day.
no preview.
for-
well, there you go.
No, I'm sure I'll have
months
to. I'll have to make it up.
Instant review. I'll
Who
review
might
it.
be in the game countdown?
I'll do the
Every day a new character.
I'll write your article, dude. I'll
Oh,
just
good.
be like, there's these 2 wrestling guys, and they're both shirtless, and I think that somebody pinned somebody else. That's my review.
That's good.
For me, the pinning is the only thing that I know what is happening. Everything else doesn't make any sense. There's 2 dudes running around, and I don't know, somebody jumps off the top thing, and the other guy can see him coming from 10 miles away, and he just slowly rolls out of the way. I don't know. Anyway,
They're telling a story in
That's-
that ring.
they are. Tales of Valor.
Tales of Valor. Or
Valor. What or whatever. EB Poll says Sony, much more than Microsoft, has put an emphasis on
Infamous? Yeah.
emphasis on user-created content with games like Buzz, Quiz TV, Little Big Planet, and even Unreal Tournament 3, which supported mods. Or there's the 361 doesn't. While this sounds like a great idea, is it really paying off for Sony? Would Sony and their partners be better served putting their resources behind their own teams to make more/better content instead of spending time getting the design tools to the community? Keep up the good work beyond. Now, the Unreal Tournament thing was just like, hey, the PC one supports mods, so we'll just port that code over there. That wasn't a ground thing.
Yeah, you just had to recook the mods. It was not a...
Now, let me
Crazy.
say one thing that I am. One of the reasons I'm a big fan of Sony, and probably the biggest reason of all,
So
is
you admit your bias.
well, no, whatever. I like
whatever.
I like the way that Sony handles their software ends and their studios, because most of the time they give them the freedom to do stuff that nobody else would have. You know what I mean? They let Polyphony work years and years and years and be completely autonomous on Gran Turismo because they know when it comes out it's going to do well. The Team Eco guys, they send them into a cave and they come out with something amazing and they don't even know what's happening half the time, and then it comes out and it's awesome. Little Big Planet, Phil Harrison saw that game, was like, we got to greenlight this thing, let them take their time, put out something. The game hasn't sold as well as people would have hoped, but still, these are the things that that Sony does that most other publishers or even all aside from Sony does not do these sorts of things. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. And the result of what happens there is you have people that are Sony fans and will continue to be Sony fans because of things like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might only be a handful of games, but you're like, I love working on the PlayStation team because I know that Team Eco is going to have a great game, and I know that even if I have to wait 5 years to play Gran Turismo, it's going to be awesome when it comes out. And every once in a while, we're going to see something new like Little Big Planet come along. And those kind of things don't generally happen on other systems. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not every single game, but there are those ones that are like system defining, and Sony does that better than anybody else.
I like it for trophies.
And there you go. Greg likes trophies.
Of course, Halo
I
3
don't-
beats all those games.
It's not really an either-or thing.
I thought you were talking about Halo Wars. Isn't that your favorite now?
Yeah, I love Halo Wars.
There you go. Rolls-Royce 5 says, how do you feel about special editions of games like Fallout 3 and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, that game you didn't heard of, being re-released with all of their downloadable content on the new release, the Game of Year edition type stuff?
It's a good idea.
Cool.
Yeah, for games that are awesome, then great.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't bought it before, then now it's a better reason to do it. Like, if you haven't bought Fallout 3 and then the fall comes and the Game of the Year edition comes out, go get that game. You know what I mean? Yep. So that's awesome stuff.
I think he may have been asking, or she or they or whatever.
Rolls-Royce?
No, Rolls-Royce is the guy.
Oh, okay.
Played the NCAA football.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah.
The dynasty that never ended.
Oh, God, I remember that.
It may have been in terms of having to double dip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
if you don't buy all the extra content, then you're kind of getting screwed. Or if you do buy it, then you end up paying more usually, which does kind of suck.
I don't know.
But
It's worth it.
I like
I would
it.
have rather have played Fallout, X number of months ago than pay the same price as I paid for that one.
Yeah. Now
That's
here,
the
let me clarify this. I said that I like this for good games, and the reason I like it for good games is sometimes I can't think of anything offhand, but when a game comes out and it sucks, and then PR and publishers and stuff like that keep working to release movies and screenshots of games months after they're out, and nobody bought it, and the game was crappy, and we gave it a 2 or something. That is like why I'm having we write everything, so it's like now I got to spend my time writing that this stupid game has a new costume for a character for a game that nobody bought. But when it's Fallout and Call of Duty and stuff like that, and people are re-releasing it, great. I will post again that game is awesome and it's coming out in the new package, so go get it. That's that kind of stuff is great to promote. So.
Beyond, literally.
Fortune and Glory says, what would you all like to see in the PSP Resident Evil? Do you think it's safe to assume that it'll be more action-oriented game like RE4 and 5 based on the DS port of Resident Evil? It seems like survival horror is difficult to pull off on a handheld, so why do you think Capcom chose PSP for this game?
I hope it's a kart racer.
They chose PSP for the game because they want to get some sales for people that didn't buy it otherwise.
Exactly.
I guess. There you go.
I think, with the control scheme, the way the PSP is set up, it's not really a very good Twitch system.
No, not at all.
So I think it might actually be a return to the old school. I hope. God, I hope. 'Cause
Without the stupid tank controls.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They'll never get rid of those.
Yeah.
That's what's synonymous with the series.
Yeah.
Jill,
But yeah,
you are the master of unlocking.
I think going back to that, horror base instead of running around and shooting everything in front of you is the way to go for this thing.
Yeah.
You were almost a Jill sandwich. You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
This
Yes.
reenactment
Looks
brought to
like
you
he
by
was
Ryan
killed
Clements.
by a crow or something.
I like this. Ryan, you should just interject random Resident Evil quotes as we continue on with this podcast. Wag my cigar.
Wag it!
Dirty says, how will I get my PS... This is a good question. Let's assume that the PS3 Slim exists and comes out. He says,
Got it.
how will I get my PS3 content from my old console to my day one PS3 Slim? Now, the newer rumors say that the PS3 Slim has the same, hard drive, the notebook, 2.5-inch form factor, and that you'll be able to just put, swap it in and out like you could before. The issue is that right now, if you take a hard drive out of one PS3 and just stick it in another one, it doesn't work.
No.
It will not let you do that.
It will ask you if you want to format it.
Right. What I am hoping
No.
is that Sony...
No,
I gotta go.
No. What I will hope is that Sony, through a firmware update or something that launches alongside the Slim, lets you do at least, even if it's only once, just a one-time hard drive move, right? So you install the firmware, then your hard drive is marked as, I have never transferred it before. You put it in your new system, it comes up and says, this hard drive is from another system. Would you like to now pair it to this one and say, you cannot undo this or whatever, and you pick yes, and then now it's in that system and your stuff works.
That would be awesome.
I think,
But I don't think it's going to happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. The one thing, too, is that you have to then have people opening up their system, taking the hard drive out. There should be a better way where you can back up your stuff and move it over, or ideally...
Firewire cable.
No. Well, I mean, there is the whole backup
Yeah.
utility, but you just have to have a portable hard drive that's big enough to cancel or to carry all the stuff you have in there.
Or system-to-system transfer. Hook
That
both
would
up at
be-
the same
that would be
time.
ideal.
USB between them, let it copy all the stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you put in more USBs in the 4 slots, would it go faster?
Yes. V Totally 2000
Maybe 4 times
says,
as fast.
when is Gran Turismo 5 coming out? Nobody knows.
I do.
Yes? When is it?
I can't tell you.
Okay. I would assume that
you
it's...
can tell- you can tell. I won't tell anybody.
It seems like it will be
Tomorrow.
within, maybe sooner than this, but I would assume, give or take, about the next year.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that Polyphony would have worked for 5 years and then shown stuff when it's still 3 years away. You know what I mean? I think that we're going to see it within the next year or so. I would think sooner than the next year, but
What if the PSP
think-
version is the PS3 version, and that's just the end of it?
that would be weird.
Bro,
Huh.
I thought you said it was exclusively coming to my house this weekend.
Is
And
it?
it wasn't actually being launched anywhere else. It was just a Ryan Clements exclusive release.
That
So you
sounds
can't
stupid.
play it with anybody on the
and I
online.
Yes.
wouldn't even play it.
You're dumb. Sir Beaver writes in, he says, any updates on Hulu running on PS3? I know about Play On, yet I'm curious if there is any official info on the matter or buzz about a possible exclusive with Sony or Microsoft supporting Hulu on their consoles. I did see a news bit today on Engadget, one of my favorite internet sites, that Sony just introduced or announced some TVs or whatever that have built-in Hulu Play.
All their Bravia stuff.
Yeah,
Anything that has the network link adapter or all the new stuff that's just wirelessly connected.
Yeah,
Which is
can
pretty cool.
natively play Hulu. So that's
What?
Netflix-
Sam's getting breaking
Netflix.
news in his head.
it's Netflix.
It's Netflix.
Oh, I thought it was
Beaming
Hulu.
Yeah, not Hulu. That was Netflix.
I am busted.
But
give
yeah,
a damn.
I want Hulu again. I'm making a lot of use out of that now.
Yeah.
Their alien plot is working very, very well. I
Yes,
must
it
admit.
is. But no, there is no news. Nobody knows what's going on. When this happened, then Sony was like, we didn't know this didn't work.
Yeah.
We'll have to look into that. So obviously this is on Hulu's end and not something that Sony was
Yeah.
doing. So who knows what's happening.
If you you can change your identifier if you use like just your normal browser or whatever. If you change it to the PS3's one, it just blocks it. So it's set to that. Well, set of neck tweak. That was really weird. Just had a weird neck spasm when it was all. Anyway.
It's all right, I have those too. It's a sign of insanity.
But
Oh,
yeah,
good, good.
so you can test it and,
So
and
yeah,
have it not work.
so it's just the identifier for the browser. It just doesn't like it for some reason.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Same.
Smokey90 says, the question is for any one of us. Now that the rumor behind the PS3 bundle, which includes MGS4 and Killzone 2, is confirmed, do you think that the $399.99 price tag is now worth it to someone who does not yet own a PS3? I personally think they should help, or that should help move a few units over the summer.
You would hope
question.
so, but I doubt it.
Here's the question. This is guesswork, and it's kind of, if you really want to get a PS3 and you really want the one right now, and this looks ideal to you, the question is, A, is the PS3 Slim rumors correct, which everybody assumes that it is.
It's here right now.
B, is it coming out in, fall-ish area, so before next year? And C, is it going to be $299 or less? If it's going to be $349, you're only going to save $50. Blah blah blah.
dumb. Don't do that, Sony.
We'll assume that the systems do the
Don't
exact
do
same
that.
thing,
Yeah.
right? So let's hope and assume that it's $299. So now the question is, do you want to save the $100 if you don't really care so much about Killzone and Metal Gear Solid 4? I was talking to Ty on the video team, and he's not really huge on those games, but he wants to play Uncharted 2, and he wants a Blu-ray player, so he wants to get a PS3. And his question to me was, should I buy this or should I wait for the Slim? And I said, I don't know, honestly. Like, it's a really tough call.
I don't know.
I think the time frame for when they're going to do a price drop or introduce a Slim, I think it's not too far away.
Yeah.
I think it's a
it
matter
tomorrow?
of a couple months. Yeah, well, maybe.
Ooh.
I mean,
Yes.
no.
So
If you weren't going to buy those two games,
Then wait for the Slim.
Then wait.
Yeah.
Just wait for the price drop of the Slim or whatever the hell you want to do. But if you weren't specifically going to pick up a PS3 and then down the road pick up those two games, for sure,
Faux show.
faux show.
Yeah.
She
think
was
it's-
a
I
hoe.
think it's worth saying.
Faux show.
There you go. Rolls Royce 5 writes in again. He says, sorry for being a complete tech idiot, but actually he says not being a complete tech nut. I like saying that he is a tech idiot. But what the hell is DRM? We mentioned a bunch of times on the last podcast. What is it?
Dr.
It is,
Robotnik's mean bean
Yeah, they dropped the PM at the end. It's Dr. Robotnik's
Well, it
machine.
sounds like bowel movement. Nobody wants that.
Exactly.
Nobody wants that coming out
Ryan,
of
do you
their
want to
mouth.
answer this?
Digital rights management, right?
Yep. Very good.
Yo.
Very good.
You did it.
Or it should be called digital rights management.
You sounded like a
sounds like
robot who
you-
couldn't quite catch his breath.
And then it sounds like telling you on a respirator.
Yeah, it is. It is the
throat
tech
cancer.
that, like, unless you're using the newer iTunes Plus, whatever. If you download something, you can only play it on your machines and that kind of stuff. It basically says you have paid for it, so yes, you are allowed to play it. If you copy somebody else, it doesn't work. Digital rights
It
management.
restricts
I'm going to try a
where
different
you can
robot
use your
voice.
stuff.
Digital rights management. How's that?
That's better. It sounds. Yeah, it's better than that one. Gummy Fernando says he's sitting there listening to podcast beyond episode 26.
26!
Here's the question.
like a robot.
Here's the question.
Get it all right.
Did Nate Ahern ever find the cake in his desk?
Oh, that's a very good question.
I like it.
I forget what the summary
I
of that
think he
story
found
became.
it. And I think, didn't we get yelled at because it was attracting
I think somebody took it
ants
out.
or something?
Oh, no. Well, yeah, Hillary is Hillary will let any joke go and say any horrible thing, but he flips out if you leave food around the office. He's like, "Oh, I don't want ants in here." We're on the second floor.
No. Here's the thing.
At the old office,
At the
right,
old
you had
office, we
ants.
had terrible ants. I picked up my keyboard once, and there was like 100 under it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really bad. Yeah, I mean,
I understand
it
being
was only a few
scared
days, and
straight,
they got rid of it, but
now
it was
we're all
a
the way
terrible
up
thing.
here on the second floor. It was a
You can
cake
still get
prank.
ants on the
Anyways.
second
In the
floor.
old building?
Yeah.
Like old one or the last?
The
building?
last one, we were on the first
7th
floor.
Oh, first
No,
floor.
we was on the first floor, so ants were just coming right in there.
All right, so I remember now what the summary to the Nate Ahern cake story was. It went on forever, and one day I walked past his desk, and I stopped to talk to him at his desk, and he had a UPS box on the ground, and the label said Greg Miller, our address, all this stuff. I was like, what the hell? So I bent down and opened up, and the cake was inside it. And he wasn't there because I bent down, the cake was inside it. I was like, what the? And so he came back finally. I'm like, hey, were you trying to prank me? And you got the cake out of the desk, put it in there, made a very professional looking label, put it on the box, and then got tired and put the box down. And he said, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So he went through all that. All he had to do was tape it up and put it on my desk. And he would have re-pranked me with the cake. But no, he broke down right there in front of his desk.
That's pretty good.
I
So
just
Nate
started crying.
Ahern is the laziest person in the IGN offices,
Pretty
basically.
much, yeah.
At least in terms of
In prankness.
in practice, pulling that off. Because that would have been really good.
Yeah, if you would have sent
Oh, he
it, taken
thought
it back
he
and
was
Put it
Fourth floor.
upstairs, and you would have got the
That would've been
email
awesome.
saying you had a package upstairs. You would have gone up and gotten it and been like, "Ooh, it's big."
You know what? Actually, somebody mail us a cake, and we're gonna do that to Nate. We're gonna go put it upstairs and get him all excited that he has a package.
Hell, just mail it straight to Nate.
He's never here
Mail
anymore.
a giant box of ants.
No, do not mail ants.
We are crossing that out. Do not do
Gummy
that.
ants.
I can't wait until I'm at my desk.
Do not do that, please. Oh no.
Can we mail them to Nate?
No.
Okay.
Because then they'll come to our desk. It's bad.
And Fox will press charges. That's
Yeah.
All right, don't mail
You
ants.
don't
but
want
mail
Fox
a cake.
lawyers. They're
Mail a
pretty
cake to
ruthless.
me, or just mail a cake to me,
Hey,
and then I'll give
remember-
it to Nate.
Yeah.
Remember when we saw the giant cockroach in the Los Angeles Convention Center?
Oh, yeah.
And I was
You
like,
climbed
that's
into
the
Ocampo's
first
bag, right?
cockroach I've ever seen in real life. It was.
Really?
I was
climbed
really
into Ocampo's
excited.
bag,
Roper was like,
Dopalicious writes in, he says, he noticed that the new
Dopalicious.
Mech Warrior game is only coming to PC and 360. Is that true? That is
Right now,
all that is
yep.
announced. Now-
Microsoft, though, they own that IP and those
No, I
licensed
think
out
that didn't they buy it back?
No. They Microsoft still has it, but they were given.
Yeah.
Well, according to Jeffrey,
Haynes?
they are.
Jeff
allowed
Haynes is a
to-
giant Mech Warrior fan, apparently.
Yeah, who knew, right? He
Yeah.
flipped out.
Yeah, and we
Damn.
were like watching this trailer, and he's like, they're using the M4285 Mark missiles,
Yeah,
and there's, they only fire at 16 when they're being used by the Mark III version of the Omega, and I'm like, what? All right, but anyway, what was he saying?
He was saying that they were granted pretty much as much freedom as they wanted with the license, but that they are. I mean, that all right now is at PC and 360, which
There you
makes
go.
sense.
Yeah.
Rope, I want you to be one of the writers on the next Mech Warrior game so
Okay.
that you can name all the mechs.
All right, I will do this.
Mark 7524 Omega.
Yeah, I would make them really, really confusing so that the hardcore guys that remember all this stuff will sound even dorkier when they're saying it. It's not going to be Mark III because it's too easy to remember. It's got to be Mark 95827B58.
Exactly,
They've
and make
changed
sure you
the
just swap
one-eyed
a couple
jackal.
digits for
Yeah.
completely different ones.
In
too, just to-
the story, they'll go back and forth between two numbers, so you never know which one's correct. A man 359 writes in. He says, "Why was Uncharted: Drake's Fortunes not among the new greatest hits titles back in June? Do you think there will be a new batch of greatest hits before Among Thieves comes out? And if so, do you think Little Big Planet will be among the new line?"
Well, now you guys know.
does, tell us
It's
about it.
part of the bundle. That's
Yeah.
the only reason why. I'm assuming if they cancel it, which hopefully they will at some point, but it's still out there. No one's buying them, so they're just sitting there on shelves until they clear the stock. Or drop the price of
So,
those things.
so here we can start putting these things together, right? Let's Uncharted before Christmas, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's coming out this year.
Yes.
That's official. It's coming out
That
this
is-
year.
Yes.
So let's say November at the latest is the official word when Uncharted's coming out, or
Be like a big holiday.
yeah. Let's say by November, right? Then that means if the $3.99 bundle, or sorry, the $4.99 bundle with the
yeah.
160 thing with Uncharted in it, has to stay at that price until, or Uncharted can't go greatest hits while that bundle's still out, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's using the old PS3.
Yes.
So that means that would go off the shelves, presumably when the Slim launches, which would then allow Uncharted to become greatest hits, leading into the sequel.
Yes.
What I'm going to think
I
now,
follow you.
what I think now
I'm with
is
you,
that
sir.
And maybe we will learn Uncharted's release date sooner than later. And if that happens, working backwards, I think you'll know that the Slim will come out before Uncharted 2. I'm now piecing this together like one of those old puzzles you used to do in elementary school.
Yes.
Did you do these where it's like Bob has a friend who's left-handed,
Logic
but
puzzle?
Jim likes the color red, and you got to figure out that Bob also likes the color blue. Those kind of
And
things.
use freaking Venn diagrams and
So my new prediction is that the PS3 Slim will come out before Uncharted 2. And then when that happens, Uncharted 1 will become a greatest hits. This is my prediction.
So you're saying there will be more greatest hits before the end of the year or whatever?
Yeah. Before Uncharted launches, even.
Okay.
Do you think the PS3... This is from The Sky's Alive.
Well, do you think Little Big Planet's going to be greatest
Sky's
hit?
Alive.
Oh, and that's a very tough question.
Yeah, I agree.
I would hope so.
what's that?
Little Big Planet, greatest hits. I would hope so.
Yeah, me too. But again, it's also part of a bundle, so.
Yeah. The Sky's Alive. Do you think the PSP will ever get trophies?
Nope.
We all wish
We've
that
all
it would.
put them under the hot lamp on that one. No,
Yep.
it's not going to happen. The fear of piracy is there. That
PSP is hacked.
You'd hack
hell
the
and
system.
back.
Yeah, and then you'd have all the trophies, and the system would be compromised.
Yeah.
And my Hannah Montana trophy would mean nothing.
The system is
All four, I guess, right? I mean,
Pull the plug.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let's see.
caught in my throat.
JSW Wilson writes in and says, "Do you think if Uncharted is really coming to the PSP, that it will be a port of Uncharted 2 or a new game designed for the PSP?" Now,
It's not.
it is not coming to the PSP in any fashion, at least that anybody is willing to talk about whatsoever. There was a shot in a magazine that had a picture from Uncharted 2 on the PSP Go. It was like from E3 News or whatever, and it was talking about the PSP Go, and it had a picture of Uncharted 2 on it, and it said it was coming to the PSP Go. 100% incorrect. Whoever put the page together just captioned it wrong, used the wrong thing, all this kind of stuff. So Uncharted is not coming to the PSP.
And then a bunch of people reported on it and said it was real.
Yeah, and that is 100% incorrect. Now, maybe tomorrow they'll announce Uncharted coming to the PSP, and I'll have egg on my
And
face.
then it will be
and then
officially
next
coming
week
to-
I'll be the liar.
Yeah.
But as of right now, that is not happening.
yeah, that was an actual PS3 shot. That was
Yeah.
just an E3 screenshot they put out there, and they
Yeah.
changed it.
The last piece of mail that I got for this week
Last
comes from Joe. He says,
Hi, Joe.
"Maybe the guy's hands in the video I saw were really big, but is the PSP Go a little bit too small? I would really need some hands-on time to see, but I was just curious about all of our opinions."
It's awesome if it
I
was the
spent,
fake
like,
plastic hands.
2+ hours with the thing. I think it's actually a perfect size.
I agree.
I
It
agree with
it
that
feels
also.
really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So it's if you just imagine your hands being a little bit closer together, more like a controller, then that's kind of how it feels. It feels
Yeah.
just like holding a controller rather than this weird kind of bulky thing that sticks into the sides of your index fingers if you hold the PSP like I do.
I'm just so used to the PSP now. I can't imagine anything else.
It feels so much better. It really does.
That's like saying, this is not this bad, but that's like saying, all I've eaten for the past 20 years is dirt. I can't imagine a great slice of pizza.
And if you've been eating dirt for 20 years and you had a slice of pizza, you would throw up all over the place because your body would not be able to handle the grease.
Interesting
so all
conversation.
I'm saying is that when
All right, let's try it.
So-
How long do you think you'd have to eat the dirt to not be able to eat a piece of pizza?
well, I'm saying that
I'll do it.
like for example, I haven't eaten beef in like 4 years,
Oh, you're
a
gonna be
large
really
amount
sick
of beef.
next time
So
you
what
have
I'm
some
saying
beef.
is that if I ever were to eat beef, even though I normally ate beef a lot
it would
in
be
the past,
freaking delicious.
my stomach would just not be able to handle
You know,
it.
the bacteria built up. Isn't that the problem?
What's that?
Isn't that
I-
what
it
happens
might
with
be that.
vegetarians?
I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
what
there's
the-
lots of bacteria and dirt, and so pizza would be fine.
All I know
So
is
what
is
I'm
that
saying
the
is, all
sudden
right,
grease.
if you get trapped on a desert island then, and basically your only options for food are maybe, rats and stuff running around the island, but let's just assume that you can only fish and you can only eat grass and plant life. Your best thing to do is then, if you think you have any hope of being saved, is to only eat dirt. Because then, assuming that the dirt has all of the bacteria in it, it will still allow you to eat regular foods when you get saved 5 years later without throwing it up. Because the worst possible thing would be for you to be trapped on a desert island for 5 years. You're eating like raw fish constantly or whatever, poorly cooked on your stupid campfire because you don't have a George Foreman grill. Then you get picked up and saved, and you get back and you're like
I want a
Tom Hanks and you're
cheeseburger.
like,
Yeah.
man, I'm back. Give me back my FedEx job. And then you go and you're like, I'm gonna go get a slice of pizza in Chicago. I'm gonna have all these people fly me out there. I'm gonna go get some Chicago pizza, and then you vomit it all over the table that you're eating at.
all right, first of all,
Deep dish pizza is so
First
good.
of all, you would be the worst survival expert ever. Now, the best idea is to eat dirt for 5 years and drink this salt
There's
water.
lots of
saw
plants
on
live on dirt.
Man-
Why can't people?
In
second-
Transformers 2, that thing eats the sand.
Second, the volatile reaction would only happen like the first few times you would eat it, and then your body would start to grow accustomed to that food type.
But maybe you would
so
feel
suck it
so
up.
bad that you would never eat it again.
Well, that's also
You
true.
just
But
want
that's more
dirt. You just walked
psychological.
outside, but you're in Chicago and there's not that much dirt around. You're just kind of screwed.
There you go.
Weirdest
Eating
like
out of
segue
potted
ever.
plants on people's front yard.
And then you die a couple days
Speaking
later.
of which-
you die before your body readjusts to being
You
able
get
to eat
shot by a
pizza.
gang guy because you were eating his petunias.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
Am I gonna have to edit that part out?
No, what does
Petunias.
that mean?
It's a plant. I think it's supposed to be
Petunia?
petunias.
Yeah.
Isn't it petunias? Petunia?
All right,
It's like a
I
Potomac.
guess I missed what you said
Potomac.
beforehand. Then
Potomac
Gang
plant.
member shoots
What's
you.
that?
A gang
member shoots you.
You're in Chicago. You throw up. You're like, I need to eat dirt. So you walk out. But of course, it's the windy
I heard
city.
something else.
Not that much dirt. So now you're like, I'm just gonna go find a potted plant to eat. You walk down Michigan Avenue. You find a potted plant full of petunias. You have some. It turns out that it's the leader of the Red Dead Revolvers. He comes out on his horse, man. Throws his Devo at you and starts shooting the place up. And you're like, why didn't I stay on the island?
This is why
very
I'm
impressive
saying that when you
callbacks.
get on the island, eat dirt. Because then this, worst case scenario can never
Stay
possibly
on
happen
target.
to you.
Stay on
That's what I'm saying.
target.
There isn't a target.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
There's no target.
that was my
Wrapping up
favorite
the end.
Wrapping up the end of the show, PSN hit of the week. Who do we got? Who do we got?
Oh no, I
Yeah,
forgot
some
to print
kid.
out my. I had like two. So there are two extremely good hit requests I have on Facebook. Just didn't get a chance to print them out. They will be upcoming. We will start
Embed it in the
assigning those
story.
out next week.
That way people have to go to the
I got
site
one.
and read the. Okay.
I got one. Email. JSW Wilson. No spaces. JSW Wilson is the PSN hit of the week.
S.
He was asking
W.
about the Uncharted port, and since it's not coming, he's PSN hit of the week.
Oh my god.
PSN it confirmed.
There you go. Do we have anything else that's on the end of this sheet here? Editor beatdowns, tournament winners. Do we have anything from?
Yep. We do have something from Beast. Beast786 writes in with this week's Community Challenge winners. In a UFC tournament, the winner is Mechaside. I'm assuming it's
Mechaside.
Thank you, Beast786. If you are interested in participating in the IGN community, make sure you go to our message boards and look for Beast786. Also, a side note for Beast himself. You do not need to actually address me as royalty and or a godlike figure. He always calls me as Highness and God and such. It's a great ego boost, but you don't have to if you
Start
don't want to.
calling him my Heine.
Anyway,
My
yes.
petunias.
Before we wrap up the show, a couple things I want to mention here. First off, as always, if you haven't rated us on iTunes, go do that. Follow us on Twitter, IGN.com. You can follow me, Chris_Roper. We're all on Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Good. Now, this is episode 98. You're now at the end of it.
Good.
Next week will be, if my math is
99.
correct, yes, 99. I think we're on the same page.
Feeling
My God.
fine.
Now,
I thought it was 80.
Rubbing
No.
the jelly.
My
it's,
math.
it's,
Oh,
it's
my
plus
belly.
one. Plus one,
Plus
99.
one. Oh.
All right. Now, that means 99. Today is this being recorded on July 9th. Episode
2009.
99. Yes. July 16th. Yeah, July. Jaloon. July 16th will be episode 99. What's happening to Sam? Sam's dying.
It's happening. We're all breaking down.
Hold on, this is important. This is important. July 16th. And Ryan, this is especially important for you, else you got to
Yeah.
go through podcast by yourself and you're screwed.
Okay. Yeah.
July 16th will be episode 99. Normally, July 23rd would be 100.
Yeah.
However, the previous week I may be called into jury duty, and Greg will be at Comic-Con on the
Come find me on the show
23rd.
floor.
Greg will be there running
San
around with mascots and all
Diego.
kinds of crap. So here's what we're doing.
And Sam's done.
Yeah, Sam's done.
He almost made it the whole show.
Episode 100, if all things go to plan, will be on July 30th.
July 30th.
July 23rd, we are going to do a best of episode of Podcast Beyond. Ryan will be putting this thing together, doing all the editing and stuff like that. So next week is 99. The week after that is the best of, looking
It's a
back at the
special
previous 99 episodes. And then on the 30th, which I'm not going to say what we have going on here, but it should be a really cool show. On the 30th will be episode 100. So,
It will blow your head out your ass.
yeah, that's what's going to happen. So in 2 weeks is the best of episode. If you have any segments that you think should be on this show, you happen to know what number they're on, and even better, what time they're happening.
Don't send us half-assed things. We
Yeah.
need to know the show and ballpark where it is in the show.
Yeah, if it's just like I remember this happened.
I remember that one time when Greg said blah blah blah, and like you don't even give a show to go to. Like,
yeah,
dude,
hopefully
beat your
the
ass.
best thing that you can do
Find you.
is send us at least the episode number, and if you can tell us when it happened, that would be great. But the episode number preferably at least, and then Ryan will be editing this stuff together, putting together a show.
Yeah.
We'll depending on who's in the office that week, we'll be doing we'll do intros and stuff like that, and tell everybody what's going on for back stuff. But that will be our best of greatest hits type thing. And then 100 will be on the 30th.
Again, if you really want this segment to be on there, the more details you guys give me, the easier it is for me to find that segment and edit it in.
episode 1,
Uh-huh.
probably in the first 2 minutes when I first said Beyond.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's 100. That's how the show's going to start. We'll
Okay.
do the first
Okay.
Beyond, and it is you that
Oh,
did
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
So there we go.
It's a much more subdued podcast. It's fun
ass.
to go listen to that one compared to these frickin' monkey jobs we're doing here.
You know what? I like my favorite one. So on the articles on the actual IGN article is people leave comments on there, and from last week, one guy's comment was, "This was my first Beyond podcast. ... WTF question mark." I think that perfectly describes what happening.
From now on, when people get turned down, they should immediately listen to one and then to whatever the most recent
When
one
people
is.
get
That
turned
the
on.
jump between those has got to be crazy.
Yeah, I
though.
know, right?
It was almost half the cast was different. And I don't know.
Because I'm
Ryan,
like,
Ryan came on in 6, I think, didn't
Four.
he? 4. Okay.
4.
But yeah, Juan was on there.
oh yeah,
Sam is totally gone. Ladies and
completely
gentlemen,
lost it.
you are hearing the wheezing that we hear every day in the IGN office that happens when
he's
Sam
been doing
is
a lot of
reviewing
X and A games today, so
some
that'll do it.
crazy ass game, and his sanity breaks down, and then he glows like a little red cherry. Oh,
I'm not even
fired
sure
up.
he's laughing about it anymore.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
it's everything.
Sam and I have a very similar sense of humor, and it's one of those things when the joke runs in your head on your own. It gets away from you. You don't even know what's happening anymore.
It started with.
I think the song of the week is just gonna have to be Sam laughing for 3 or 4 minutes.
No, we've already had that though. We did, have we? Yeah, I'm saying that this is what the song has already been playing.
And then now let's just be quiet and listen.
It's like a helicopter.
All right, well,
Not staged or fake in any way.
he's crying now.
Do we want to have a real song?
No, this is the way to do it. All right, we'll see you guys next week for 99.
Beyond.
Oh, Sam's in the cup! Oh!